Well, everybody, we are back here once again with another Cloud9 podcast episode. And the LCS ended up going through another week. Lots of storylines, lots of quality gameplay. Latigris is, shoutcasting really just gets me going, gets me like really, really, really hard to the point where, I can't watch the LCS games because their casting is just so good, And there's another thing I want to bring up, which is the very fact that the LCS's gameplay overall and quality has improved so much. Okay, I honestly meant none of that.
Yeah, the opposite.
Well, you guys are in for a good show. Let's go.
Yeah.
And what is going on, everybody? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 8, episode 9. Going to be talking about the LCS 2023 summer split week 3 that I'm pretty sure we just went through. FlyQuest ended up going, 3-0. IMT ended up showing us, who they really are. And Cloud9 ended up dropping a few games. Then we had TSM also looking like they're starting to show us, the team that they really should be going into the split. And Latigris is shoutcasting is just so good. She really improved since last week, actually.
Yeah, no, it's
she
insane.
So much.
No, seriously, it's like she wasn't terrible when she first started like last year, and it's like she decreased in casting ever since. It's hilarious. Whatever.
I don't think she's like socially there because she really probably thinks she's good. So as you guys know, Azael, the Azael who's been on the LCS broadcast for a while, he had a chance to do his own, shoutcasting endeavor. This week it was on the Dig versus TSM game that took place, and it really goes to show you how much even maybe Riot is now going, yeah, Azael kind of was better than you in like a game.
Yeah, and he wasn't good, though. He was pretty lame. He's better with the other cast and not that. But even then, it was an improvement. But, yeah, again, I think it's odd. But she's, like, made tweets and stuff saying, like, yeah, she's working on things. She's improving. It's just, she's just not good enough. I'm sorry. And I don't understand why they can't, like, realize that. Like, she's good in a lot of areas. She's not good in that. Why do you keep pushing it? I don't get it. Whatever. But pretty much all the casters, though, besides some of them and the new people, maybe like they've all been like bad. Like a lot of the old casters, they just haven't been like as there this year. It seems like they haven't been as good. And then again, they've been doing other experiments with newer people like Azael. And it isn't very good either. Like, it's kind of sad when fucking Blippo and Fudge can do better casting than like 90% of the people right now.
I never even like the pro players doing it, honestly, because they're not very good at like articulating what they're saying. Like, very few of them actually can do it well. Yeah. I think Yankos did it well. Fudge actually did it pretty well. And like, yeah, you said Blippo. Other than that, because the LEC has that problem too. Why do they keep bringing random players up to cast like professional games? They're like, I'm driving mean. They're like illiterate. They don't even know how to like even string together pieces together.
And they also, it's like they'll see something and they'll focus too much on it when other stuff is going on. That was I Will Dominate's problem. Like, he was good with like paying attention to everything going on in the game, but because of that, he did too much where then like every small detail he'll latch onto it too much instead of keep going, and he like stumbled and stuff. But there's very few that can do it, but there have been some good ones like all the ones we mentioned there, and there was just one other, I forgot his name, but he also did it recently. It was really good. And then also of course Casual as well, but yeah, it's just really, really odd. Just the shit they're trying to do. I don't get it.
Yeah, they're basically trying to have their casters be multi-jobbed. You know how like basically the analyst desk now goes up on stage in interviews.
Yeah,
it's just trying to basically make everyone jack of all trades.
Save more money and improve their skills. But some people just like even if they improve and do like a competent job, it's just not good enough to like over others you can get. I'm sorry, like there's just like you're never gonna like again they can always do a competent job with enough practice and be like more than serviceable and then fill in when somebody else like can't do it one game and such, but you're never going to be as good as the people who solely do it that have been doing it for years. All right, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, because I was listening to her casting and it just my brain is about just turned off about anything this woman's been saying.
It's also sad when Emily can cast better already.
Yeah, like Azale's shoutcasting, as long as he improves on it, he should be probably doing it more than her come next year, as long as he gets to do it based on enough games. Emily got a chance to get on the desk. She was pretty talented. Well, we should have probably knew it was going to happen because obviously she's very talented herself.
Yeah, and you know what's also weird about that stuff? It seems like they hire them for one thing and they're really good at it, and then they'll try to get them to do these other things, and then it doesn't work out. And instead of just putting them back into their original spot that they were good with and that they were hired for to do, they'll just release them. That's another thing I've noticed. That's what happened with all the leads. Like they tried putting her in some things or doing some other things, and she wasn't good at it, but she was great at the other stuff she did. But instead of just going back to her original roles, they just released her, and they've done it with many people in LEC and LCS. It's really weird.
Yeah, they've even hired like more shoutcasters too, like the guys from the academy scene that people have asked to have jobs for a while. They finally put them on the stage now. The one Cloud9 academy caster guy, he finally got a chance, I think, this week to finally do it. And I know a lot of people in the community, I don't think they're as harsh as they should be sometimes. Like you can tell, you can say if someone's not good. Not every single person who goes on stage is good. Because if every single person that goes on stage is good, then that means that everyone's so perfect they're not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Like the LEC, like earlier this week, remember they had Santorin go on. I was like, he's terrible. They had Revenge go on. He's awful. They had Closer go on. He's terrible. The LEC. Perks tried to do it. That was awful. Yankos tried doing it. I liked when he did it. Every other player that tried doing it was bad. That's what the LEC stopped doing it.
Make that his job now because he's shit as a player now. Jesus fuck.
Oh, Revenge needs to improve. Revenge needs to improve because this week when Cloud9 fisted EG so hard into the dirt, Revenge, you might not have a career. Then again. Based off how bad he played this week, I don't know how that guy will go into this week still having a job. That guy is so trash. And I was like,
he'll definitely be released after this split. But and again, there was right down Cloud9 Academy guy. I will say, he didn't do the best job when he was given a chance, but I do hope he gets more chances though, because he has shown some really good skills before. Like again, I watched his like when Dukes came in and they had a high viewership, and then they live streamed the games when they originally weren't going to and casted it on their channel. He was really good actually, so I hope he gets more chances. But
all right, we're gonna go over the LCS 2023 summer split standings, and these are after week 3. We are going to be going into week 4 coming up this Wednesday, and the league is starting to, I guess you could say, shape up a little bit, or say average out, kind of how most people thought it would be, minus, obviously EG, rising to the top actually. So let's go over the standings right now. So it's pretty fairly competitive right now. And like even teams like Cloud9, they ended up dropping, I think they dropped a game this week. They ended up, losing out to Team Liquid, but ended up going, 2-1 overall. 10th place is Immortals. Then you have 4 teams tied for 7th at 3 and 6.
Yeah. Also, why did you say they lost a few this week? They lost one game.
Oh, I was fudging on another team. I was talking about another
right.
team for some reason.
Okay, yeah.
And you had two teams at 5 and 4 at fourth. Golden Guardians. They're starting to kind of pick up their MSI steam now. They're in third place, and then Cloud9 and EG are both still tied for first place, sitting at 7 and 2. But
and again, EG proved this week though after the Cloud9 game they really are frauds. They're a good team. No, they're a good team. Revenge
they are carried by JoJo and Armal. That's it.
Yeah, no,
they literally
unforgiven.
don't do anything. That team is trash.
No. It's those three players that are great, and then Ayla's just fucking mediocrity getting carried, and Revenge is also mediocrity getting carried, but he's at least
Unforgiven. He's been good. Yeah,
he's at least been doing his job though. Like that's what he's like. Again, he's not like he's just decent at best, but he's at least doing his job well. Like a team-friendly weak side top laner.
He's not had that like pop-offs like he had last year with Kaiser. But it's really hard to have pop-up games when you have what's his name, Ayla. It's really hard to have pop-up games with that guy. He's so good.
Yeah. Like again, like with Revenge, this was how he sort of looked when he first came into LCS, and what people were hoping he would be, like a team-friendly weak side guy who has some carry moments, and he isn't the best, but he's at least he's at least a good piece for a team to like make worlds and stuff. While there's other carries, so nothing wrong with him. He's finally shown it now that he's away from fucking that dumpster fire. Ayla's still mediocrity, though. I'm not going to praise him. He's getting carried by the other three hard. But, he's at least not terrible, I guess. Again, they're a good team. They shouldn't be this high in the standings, though. It's just other teams. The whole league is just fucking dumb.
I'm being honest, man. I think they're getting away with murder at this point.
No, it's just because the rest of the team is a cluster fuck together, and they're taking advantage of it. So good for them, but they're not this good though. It's sort of like misfits, that 1 year, but I think they're good enough to make Worlds though, for sure.
Yeah, because I know people said they had an easy strength of schedule. They had a mixed bag. They started out. I mean, the first week they played against NRG. They played up against Golden Guardians. They played up against Dignitas. So that's fairly competitive.
Digga's been kind of a surprise a little bit. Won that Immortals game.
Jeez, oh my god. Then EG faced 100 Thieves. Then they faced FlyQuest.
This is what I kind of expected, though.
Yeah, given how there's so much in the league, you could honestly assume a team like this would rank this high in the standings right now. Literally every single team can beat each other if you're from like 7th to 3rd right now.
Oh yeah. This is what I hoped Dig would be last split. And Santorin is finally grew a brain again at the moment. So the team's looking good, I would say. I'm not expecting them to, but it would be nice if they just made Worlds, as a surprise story, because I really would like to see Jensen break the record.
All right, so let's start at the bottom.
Again, he's tied for the most Worlds appearances in a row all time.
I doubt it. Well, to be fair, like before, they still have that shot of the 3rd, 4th place match decider.
Yeah, I mean they're top 4. That you just have.
I doubt that'll last on the split. I mean, I really doubt a lot of these standings are going to pan out because obviously this week there's going to be probably a more solidified standing of the teams. Hopefully. I mean,
probably
right now.
I mean, I hope FlyQuest keeps improving and knocks 100 Thieves down, and then the top 6 is pretty much how I expected. Besides Evil Geniuses kind of being there over NRG, I do think that's NRG has kind of fallen off.
All right, so we're gonna start with Immortals. They are 2-7 right now. After their loss to FlyQuest, they are on the biggest losing streak of any team right now in the LCS. A lot of people started overreacting based off the first day of the LCS, which I tell people to stop doing that. Stop overreacting of day
and also
one.
Look at their opponents. It was NRG and Dig, and both those teams had their
they faced Dig, NRG,
and NRG, and both of those teams. Yeah, and both of those teams had their in the very start of this split. They were out of order completely. They didn't have their shit together. So it was easy outside of that, they've been losing all of them. Yeah, because they're shit. Again, I'll say this though. I don't. I actually, besides one player, Treats has really, again, he is a little washed now. Nothing against him. It happens eventually. It doesn't take away, from his excellent seasons in an LEC. But I thought he would at least do well, considering all the other years, But yeah, he's actually been like in. But besides him, I'll say this: the team doesn't really have any bad players, but they're all just mediocre player. There isn't one good player on this team, and this has been Immortals for ages, and they should have gotten like last place like every fucking year, but they just got bailed out so many years. Hopefully they don't this time. They should definitely get dead last.
So for me, when it comes to Immortals, it was the Team Liquid game that really exposed how bad they were, and then people that were obviously super overrating them for the first 2 days of the LCS back in week 1 at the start of the split. They were like, oh my god, IMT, it's man, they're about to destroy the whole league. Team Liquid literally showed that Friday that team just isn't shit. They not only that, they had the biggest gold lead they said ever in the league's history at 10 minutes. Guys, you know how disgusting that is? The league's been around for a decade. That was the biggest the biggest gold lead a team had ever had, ever.
Yeah, you know how bad you would have to be to beat the record set. I believe it was IMT versus like Impact Gaming, remember? And they had a perfect game in like 16 minutes.
Oh, you're talking about Team Impulse. I remember that.
Yeah, Impulse. Yeah, remember that game? And they brought up all the rookies, and then Immortals was on that 17-1 season, and they just murdered them. You know how bad you have to be to break that fucking record?
Right, Holy fuck. And then
this is terrible.
Earlier this week, I was watching these games. I mean, it's not even just Kenvi. I mean, the bot lane is like pretty non-existent for the most part. They don't really get anywhere, honestly. You know?
I don't know what Treats is doing. He's like, it's just he goes in and loses his brain and then just dies. He every game he plays like what's spending in that fucking Recon game.
Tactical, like he did play well for the first 2 days of the split, but guys, you got to kind of play well, throughout the split. Actually, you can't just play well for a couple of days.
Yeah. And like again, Tactical isn't a bad player, and he has moments. He has some like upside, but once again, just like at the start of the season and last season when we were questioning how he got on a fucking team, it's just not good enough to stay in LCS. There's way better ADCs. It's like he's not bad, but I'm sorry, it's not good enough though. It's fine to not. You can be not a bad player, but still not good enough for LCS. And yeah, Balulu has been their best player, and I think that says a lot about their fucking team. A Swedish guy who played in the Turkish league for ages and played just like set mid all the time is their fucking best player now. Good job. And yeah, can be. What I'll say about that is I hope he gets good opportunities in the future, because I would like to know how he actually looks when away from this hellhole as Revenge is right now. And Solo, congrats for being the first 30-year-old who has a 7-game losing streak. That's really impressive.
That's how you know the narratives around IMT are just basically dog shit. Like Solo obviously is 30 years old, and the first day of the LCS, everyone's bragging. They're all doing this little narrative skit about Solo being the first 30-year-old.
Yeah, well, it was IMT versus Dig. Nothing else was going to happen that game.
So for me, Tactical and Treats have been like pretty underwhelming. And I tell people this all the time. When teams start putting back together players, like when they were obviously on together before, doesn't really always work out very well. Like I think it's been very rare for players who have played together to come back together and do well, like as a squad. Actually,
well,
very few teams
I can't believe they haven't fucking put Joe in. Fucking play him.
Well, to be fair, at this point, you might as well. So the same thing I said about FlyQuest last week. The same thing I'll say about Immortals this week. Literally, you're 2-7 right now. It also looks like it's a sinking ship. You might as well throw in Joey at this point, unless Treats has it in his contract. You can't sub him out. Then I try it out honestly.
Like I don't get it. I'm sorry. Like again, he might not. I'm not saying he'll be good in LCS or will work out, but he has been literally like fantastic in Academy for 3 years straight, 6 splits in a row with IMT, while playing with dog shit ADCs like Keith. He's literally carried
Keith
their
is great,
Academy.
Dude. Joey held Keith back from LCS
opportunities. God hell. Yeah, it's like he literally carried their Academy, their dog shit Academy squads for 6 splits straight. And he never got a chance in LCS. It was ridiculous. Besides, like 3 games at one time. So again, I'm not saying he'll be good or he'll work out. I'm sure it wouldn't, and I'm sure he'll go back down to Academy or as a coach afterwards. But he at least deserves a look. And at this point, with your fucking team and with how Treats is playing, like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, for me, Balulu, yeah, he's been the best player on the team, but even on a team like this, there's not really much he can do. Like, you can't really get an advantage because jungle is always losing. The jungler is pretty much a big reason why they're losing most of their games. Then you have Solo. Solo also has been like because people said coming into this what he would be like an upgrade over Revenge, which I do believe he actually is, but he hasn't shown it at all. Like he's honestly ran it down the entire split so far.
No, I'm sorry. I know we hated.
I don't actually think that Revenge is. I don't actually think Revenge is good either. I think Revenge is getting carried himself. Revenge just surrounded himself with better players to do it with.
Friendly and doing his job somewhat.
I'll give it to him. At least he can.
Although Eevee had a rough week, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for me, like as long as Revenge can Scion all, I mean, I guess I got to give him credit for that. I mean, doing the literal
I'm sorry. Again, Revenge might be bad as well, but no, he definitely wasn't an upgrade over. Solo definitely wasn't an upgrade over him. I think Solo was just like the worst top laner last split, and I think he still is. And I think that really says something when your team is so bad that you replace Revenge with Solo. That really says something about your org. And when you think that's an upgrade, that's incredible. It's like the equivalent of what's that? What's the equivalent? It's like replacing Doc Dam. Because he's so bad, but then like replacing him with
it's like how you move and you try to upgrade your shit. That's like taking your bed, throwing it out, and then going to the homeless shelter for a new one. It's like
or it's like going from Leave to Uzi, who's not bad, but it's like
Leave literally. We'll talk about that later, obviously, because
it's the equivalent of like replacing Doc Dam with Stixay.
That honestly might be better. But
probably actually.
So Immortals, there was this. I want to show you guys just how bad and dog shit Kinvi really is. My brain, literally, my physical brain leaped out of my head, ran into the bridge, and it got ran over by a truck. It was awful. Here, I'll show you guys right now. This was so bad. I actually can't blame Solo for this because his jungler straight up inted him. Like, it was so bad. I want to show you guys how bad this pathing is. This guy is just, he's not it, man. I know people were like, oh, he came from Academy. Shut the he's so bad, man. He can't path correctly. If you can't path correctly, you can't be a jungler at this level. That had nothing to do with his teammates. He straight up solo lost them this game. Straight up by himself. No one did anything. He completely inted it. I will show you.
No, IMT is just horrible. Like,
he individually played very bad.
Yeah, and again, now how much does this have to do with just the org's issue and not?
I can't blame the org if he's playing that bad. What's the org gonna do? Step in and be like, hey, can you stop? Actually, you know how to jungle. You know how to actually path.
Yeah, but
you take them off.
Yeah, again, there's been a handful of players though who then went to other teams and did well. It's almost like honestly, like Immortals like doesn't teach their fucking players anything. It's incredible.
Okay, so before this 6 minute happened, before this timer went, because the highlights started at 6 minutes, this guy, I swear, is the most incompetent moron for a jungler I have ever seen. So, they're trying to prep a gank for Solo, because on Renekton, if you get a solo kill against Auron, obviously you could just dive Auron repeatedly, right? You know what he does? He shows himself too early, and then when Armao is counter jungling him.
Hey, got a dragon.
He gave up his positioning on the map, thus giving away their whole plan. All because he chose to reveal himself way too early.
Yeah, well, you know what? At least he's better than Mike Young.
You know what's also better than... Okay, if you have sex with Precious and you have sex with Hood LaQuishas, is that really leaving the hood? You know?
Oh, don't bring up that trash film.
Precious, it was great for black cinema, am I right, boys?
Oh, God.
Am I right?
That was a great comedy. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
I laughed. I'm sorry, everybody took that film so seriously. I was laughing so hard when she ran away with the fucking
Good
chicken.
Lord.
The great thing,
it
was a serious story, but the acting was not
this
good.
game. My bad.
Yeah, no, it was a serious story. But it was a horribly made film and horribly acted. There was only one part of that entire film that was good, and I'll let you guess what that was, Blake.
You done about the... No, not the frying pan. I'm not gonna lie. I remember watching it, but I remember erasing it from my memory because I was like,
okay. Well, there's literally only one good aspect of that entire film, and it's one actor in it. Guess who it is?
Mariah Carey.
No.
If you're talking about Monique, I lived through a lot of Monique style mothers.
Oh,
what? Wait, you didn't like her in that?
No, I liked her. It was a little too accurate. There's some moms like that. I'm like, oh shit, this is...
No.
I think she was. I think she was great in it. Deserved the Oscar. That's it, though. The rest of the film is garbage.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, let's.
All right, so we had a Ken V. He was on Sejuani this game, and like I mentioned, where he gave away the whole early game plan they had to get Kazante head. Go back and watch this is the highlights because I show the play-by-play where they're doing the stuff. Watch the actual VOD. This is some of the worst jungle pathing I've ever seen. My eyes I needed bleach. It was that bad. It was.
Why did he go? Why did he?
You know, at that here he had already griefed the game at a minute in. I'd already mentally broke my brain. I shit you not. Fuck it. I'm gonna go. This was terrible. I need to show how this is what they're paying for. This is what they're gonna pay for. Is Immortals really trying to come back and win the LCS, paying for this shit? Really? 3 months ago, 4 months ago? What the fuck? What if he 4 months ago? Epic skill shot.
We only don't know if they're trying to win the LCS. This could be a tax. This could be a tax write-off for them.
Yeah, no, they're trying to save as much money as possible before leaving.
Oh, yeah, because this seems like a tax write-off. Because I know a tax write-off when this, because think about it. It's the whole thing with Jackie Moon and semi-pro. All you gotta do is look competent, and they can't say you're tanking.
Right here. I love how FlyQuest only has one sponsor. I love it.
Yeah, sorry. They look worse in these games than the LPL teams who were intentionally trying to lose that one game years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
My God. Oh, yeah. Remember that? Yeah. Where they purposely...
They look worse than those teams.
Watch this. Oh, also, what doesn't help is if your mid laner is losing to Vikla, just get off the stage. If you're losing to Vikla at this point in his career, just please get off. Please get off the stage. My man was... If you're losing to Vikla, guys, Vikla now on his team, the coach only gives him 2 champions, Tristana and Azir. They're like, you suck so bad. Yeah, he's like, you suck so bad. Fuck it. We're just simplified game. Tristana or Azir. You ain't getting no other choices. Now, maybe if you carry a game, I might give you an Orianna game. All right, so this is what Ken V does. Ken V goes up here. Oh, no, what are you doing? Oh, you fucking suck. Why'd you give the whole game away? It's 3 minutes in. If my jungler does that, I'm burning to my fucking...
They put a question mark there.
So I'll explain why this is bad. So against an Ivern, you cannot really reveal where you are because he is going to walk into your jungle and steal everything. Different with Ivern is Ivern can just press one button and he just steals a buff, right? So then, as you understand that Kazante has to get ahead against Renekton in a matchup, if he invests that much time in the top lane, if he doesn't get the kill, he's worthless. He himself is going to be behind. Ivern's going to counter jungle you, and then after that, you're essentially behind the entire game. Now Ivern's ahead of you. Obviously pacing wise, right? Then also doesn't help that the bot lane was getting constantly shoved in as a Xayah and Rel. It was just, man, throw this dude in garbage, man. after this, he just got completely just murked. He was outpassed. He's right here. Now, since he invested top, obviously he can't help them prep for drag. So he invested all that resources top to go and try and gank someone where his top laner left him. I feel so bad for Solo. This game is literally not his fault.
He's getting some damage off.
Look where he passed. Dude, he's so bad at team fighting. He just walked in at 3 people. Oh my god!
What do you mean? He was doing amazing. It was his mid laner's fault. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Throw this guy in the trash. I fucking.
Sorry. It's like every game. This guy's like one of those fucking people who like, he's literally like a League of Legends version of like one of those instigators. He causes shit for his team and they all die, but then he just like leaves, flashes and leaves and survives.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was a professional game and my journal dead to me, I'm typing junk diff right in the ultra in front of him. I don't care. That's massive junk diff. I can't feel bad for Solo. If you're trying to prep a Cassante dive like they did level 3, if you're going to invest that much time, it has to pay off. Because if it pays off, then obviously he gets the tempo advantage. They get the tower plates, as you guys know. And then right after that, they can get dragged now because they have the tempo advantage. That means Renekton can't TP down. Now, they would actually win the game almost just based off that. But if Kimby randomly just reveals himself for no reason to gank a person where his top laner wasn't there, that's not. I'm typing jungle diff and I'm typing your mom's a hoe.
At this point, maybe they should just bring back Chad.
After that for Immortals, they're on a 7-game losing streak. The way Kimby was playing this week, stay losing. I don't care. You can't fix that. That's just egregiously levels of bad. I know that. I'm not even as high ranked as him. There are certain jungle matchups you cannot reveal yourself in early on because you will be just behind the entire game. Because against a champion like Ivern, you're going to walk into your jungle and just steal everything you have. Now you can't fight him back because now you're behind.
Off some damage on the enemy.
Oh, you sure did?
That's good.
Yeah, he got his flash. On a Renekton with TP still.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, Chaz, what do you think about Immortals now? 7-game losing streak.
I bet that they were trash. That's the sad part about it. It's like, I mean, I know that you shit on Kemi, but that's the whole team, man. Like, the whole team's just horrible.
No, that was an actual prep thing that they all massively failed on.
That was and that's the team. That's a team diff. Like, if you prep on that and you can't execute it, you all suck. Kemi might be the worst, but they all suck. Because you execute as a team.
Also, in that game that I forgot to mention before we go on to TSM, your mid laner cannot also be getting shoved in. If your mid laner is getting shoved in, Ahri can't roam. Yeah. So the priority
he can only play 2 champs, just like Adam.
So if your mid laner is getting shoved in,
God,
so
I don't want to talk about the LEC. That was.
Chad Adam this week, Sean.
Fuck off. God, fuck off. He was so shit. They just literally ran into him.
Come on,
so
man. You gotta give Chad Adam his credit.
No, fuck off. He was shit that game. And that's all he can literally just play like Set, Olaf, and like what's that other champ? Darius or whatever. It's like that's his whole champion pool done.
Dude, that's my champion pool.
You could actually play Darius in the LCS. People just don't pick him enough because it's not as forgiving as Renekton. So people.
Dude, I play all the champions Adam plays. Plus, I play Tryndamere and Gragas.
That's what I want to ask. Than Adam. Honestly,
why doesn't Adam pick Tryndamere? Tryndamere is right up his lane.
Plus, I play Renekton.
Right up his lane and being a shit top laner who needs to play.
You gotta give him credit. He played well this week.
No, he didn't. The team, the other team played like
garbage. He played well early game. Once he got late game, it was a wrap.
Late game.
That's all he can do. Just play the baby champs while the rest of his team carries him. That's all he can do. All right, Chad would be better than him. All right.
Like I mentioned before,
Morals is dog water. Everybody I feel bad for Solo, but everybody else needs to just go.
Also, remember this for anyone who's like new to the game or doesn't like these concepts. If you are trying to prep what they prep, if your mid laner is getting shoved in, it's over. Especially at that moment in the game. Not that it's over. The game's entirely over. You can't make a comeback plays, but the plan you just had is pretty much screwed because if your Azir is poking out your Ahri, well, Ahri's priority is to shove the lane in and roam. That's kind of what you're pushing mid laners, right?
I'm not gonna lie, man. They kind of lost that draft.
That draft was really bad. That draft was terrible.
Why'd
you let Vikla get Azir? Like,
why is Prince on Aphelios? What are we doing here?
I also didn't. I'm sorry. I'm not I was going to talk about it more so in the Cloud9 game, but I have not been a fan of Xayah in this meta. I don't understand why people think it's so strong. I genuinely think the only reason why it's working out in other regions like LPL is because the ADCs are that skilled and that good with the champ.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't like it.
If you watch Xayah last night with Pays when they're playing up against Homolife shit esports, he was popping off on their games.
Yeah, because he's amazing ADC, but other than I think it's more so the ADCs and the champs. Like I don't think it does enough damage, and I don't like the pairings with the
that's the player thing. Literally, in any better player's hands, these champions are busted.
I just think there's way better ADCs than in this meta and with the supports. Like I don't understand. Like I would way more play Varus. I don't know why Berserker doesn't play more of that.
I mean, Double played Varus this week.
Yeah, I don't understand why teams don't play that more in Ashe. I think those are way better.
All right, so Immortals sucks, donkey shit. Also, another team on a 4-game losing streak is TSM, actually. They're starting to kind of look like the team that most people thought they would look like right now. They just didn't show it initially.
It got to a high streak at 3. Was it they were 2? No. They were 2-1?
They were 3-3 at a certain point. I remember that.
Yeah. Week 1, they were 2-1, right?
Yeah, they were 2-1 week 1.
Yeah,
we were like, it's not as bad as we thought. No, it's looking pretty bad right now.
I mean, TSM is the team we always thought they would be all right. We said they might get 8th, but probably 9th, and they'll pick up wins. They'll pick up wins out of their, because they'll play hard and have that veteran experience where they can punish a lot of mistakes, but overall they'll be outskilled still, and they'll win enough though where maybe they'll squeeze into playoffs, but that's it.
No, yeah. I think putting in Ruby over Insanity was a mistake. The same thing with FlyQuest last split. Like Insanity legit actually looked fine. I don't know why they would even grab Ruby to begin. They grabbed Ruby beforehand. That's not their fault. But like seeing the way Insanity played, I would have just honestly played Insanity. I'm sorry.
And again, he was like the best outside of Diplex. Well, actually, even better. Him and Diplex were even 50-50. But actually, I would even say he was better than Diplex. He was probably like the best mid laner in Academy because his laning was super good. I mean, there were better ones. Like again, all those players on the on Fear, Cincinnati Fear were amazing. But of course, none of them got on LCS teams because their fucking scouts are idiots. But anyway, yeah, he was like one of, if not the best mid laner. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely keep him in. Again, the challenge though is, do you think his champion pool and in this specific meta is good for it? Like they had to put him on like Graves 3 games. Like, do you think that's because he's not as good with champions like Azir? Like we've seen it before. He's good with certain champs, but stuff like Tristana and Azir, and he played for Immortals, he really struggled with. He kind of just stayed in his lane and didn't do much all game.
Yeah. So for me, I think Ruby over Insanity has been honestly, a clear-cut downgrade. Hanser hasn't looked impressive at all this split. I mean, a lot of old TSM fans are probably thinking, oh my God, we got Hanser back. We used to win titles with this guy.
Yeah, fans who are like, we're in a coma for 5 years.
Like, you got Hanser back, and this Hanser is pretty bad. Even week 1, remember, although they did just put him on Malphite duty, week 1, he's not been good at all. Boogie's regressed pretty hard. Like last split, Boogie wasn't that bad. Boogie was it was all right last split. This split, he's just been terrible. He's I
think he's been as all right as last split. I just think the league got better. The only reason why he looked better than last split was because there was a lot of worse performing junglers. This split, I think they all kind of improved. So he's just again, I don't think he's terrible. He's just weak, one of the weakest in comparison to the competition. And then
what's crazy?
Wild Turtle. I like Wild Turtle and Chime though.
Chime to me, if he's not on engaging supports, he's like all right. But if you put him on like things like Blitzcrank and Rakan, he's pretty bad at them. Like he's actually bad at engage supports.
No, don't put him on Rakan.
If that game against 100 Thieves, man was shooting air balls with his fucking Blitzcrank hooks. That was terrible.
Yeah, don't put him on those champs. But
he had the one good one where he'll double if and he one-shot him. But outside of like that, he was all like every time he picks Blitzcrank, Rakan, Alistar, Rel, I'm like, just stop.
Yeah,
you lost.
I still think he's been all right. And again, Wild Turtle, I think he's been all right as well. I think those are the two best players. And again, I have a question though. Do you think who would you say is better between the two? Aloran when he played for Immortals at one split, or Haunter right now?
I think RF Legendary clapped.
Oh my god! Please don't. That guy was, he was legendary. Quite a legendary career. Fuck me.
Oh, yeah.
All that guy did, literally every game, was he just picked, like, Dr. Mundo, and then the whole game, he would just stay in his top lane for 30 minutes and do nothing but throw axes under his turret and just try not to die. That's all he did. It was hilarious. And he has like a YouTube channel, and God, he's made some weird videos. He made this video of him just like burning his Challenger jacket.
Okay. So yeah, that's one thing with TSM. Like if you watch their games this week, Ruby, man, dude, I was trying to root for you, man, but those Annie flanks he tried to do, I was at a stroke. Yeah, I was like, bro,
I don't get it. The guy was really good in the first LEC split. Then he lost his fucking brain.
People go back and watch that winter split. He actually had a pretty good
and he was pretty good on like Syndra and such. I don't.
Yeah, he actually had impressive already in his year games. It was his last split. He let that Wangdong Ching Chong food he was eating just go to his brain and fry his ass.
Yeah, I
TSM, think, 4-game losing streak. They've been just falling apart themselves. NRG. I don't really. Palafox, I gotta give him credit. He's actually looked pretty good. He's actually pretty impressive, honestly.
I don't think so. I think last split he was impressive, surprisingly, and he actually deserved like their whole pro team.
Do the Jace games he had? What's the other one? He had the Jace games were impressive. The Azir games were good. The Aura games were good. I think he's actually looked better than last split. Last split, I thought he was playing too safe. Last split,
I don't know. I think he's made a lot of mistakes. I honestly think he's been like the weak point of their roster right now.
Because I forgot who they lost to this week. They lost to Golden Guardian. No, they won against Golden Guardians. They lost against FlyQuest, and they lost against Dig.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't blame it. I can't blame him too much. I guess when he has fucking Ignar as a support,
Energy is just CLG in disguise. They beat the team. Expect them to, and they lose against everybody else.
Yeah. And they definitely fell off. But I mean, the biggest question though was, should we have seen this coming? Because we all knew they would be like solid, but nothing too special coming into this.
Our
split,
peak for them was like 6th. We didn't really have that much expectations.
We thought they would be 6 or something. But they were good, and they had like top 4 placements and such, I believe, before. But again, the entire league improved, at least in comparison to their roster. I'm not saying the entire league improved. If anything, they got worse. But
I feel like Doko's not been good.
Yeah, in comparison to their roster, though, the rest of the league definitely did improve over theirs. So maybe we should have seen this coming. Like they're just outmatched now, and FBI still hasn't played. I
feel like FBI's been okay. He hasn't been bad. He's
just playing to get a check.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't blame him too much when he has Ignar with him. All right.
Yeah. I'll say Palafox to me has looked pretty impressive. Like Contracts has looked solid. Doko is just
he's just so uninterested. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Doko isn't bad, and he's just in the middle.
He's just kind of like meh.
He's a worse version of Genax. But anyway. Contracts again. Sorry, go.
I was just saying that, man. You can just see him after the game, just sitting there, just like he does not care. He's just, I'm here.
Gonna go eat some curry.
Curry. Looks like Stephen Curry on crack, but whatever. All right, so NRG 2-game losing streak as well. Now you have FlyQuest. They turned it around. The 3-0 so far.
Right
now.
Wait, they lost to them.
FlyQuest, they ended up actually beating Team Liquid, who was
but
more or less on the hot streak.
So NRG did lose to FlyQuest. Right.
FlyQuest beat Team Liquid, NRG, and they also beat Immortals.
Right.
I know people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, they went 3-0," but it's like
the only good team they won against was Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Team Liquid had already
showed 2 teams that are worse than you.
And then remember the week before, TL showed, they have a really good early game, and even this week against Cloud9, it showed that hey, you give them a chance, they'll just beat you.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're having issues, but
if you stand toe to toe with them early game, you're going to gap them by 20 minutes. Once that Baron comes in, the wrap.
Now. Again, they're getting their shit together still.
What was that first game? The first game against Team. Okay, so when you're watching the actual game itself, it's actually a lot more closer than the scoreline would show you. It's really because FlyQuest drafted a comp where it's gonna obviously outscale Team Liquid's. Team Liquid's had to win at a certain amount of time in order to actually win. That was probably their closest game. If I'll be honest, if Team Liquid actually won against FlyQuest, they probably still win the rest of their games.
And I'll be honest, I think Team Liquid has been shooting themselves in the foot. They should be like top 2, but it's like they're drafting these comps that are just like shooting themselves. I don't get it.
It's more like they're drafting comps that they have to win in a certain amount of time. Because remember the one against FlyQuest? It was Yeon was on Ashe.
Yep.
It was FlyQuest. They had it was Prince on it was Aphelios. Literally, they were just throwing at Baron. Not even throwing at Baron. You're not pushing their advantage though. They have the advantage, but they're not pushing it. I'm not saying FlyQuest didn't play well this week. I think they played well this week for what we saw going in, because it literally could not have gotten worse from where we were standing last week. Not going 3-0 would have been a stretch when you have IMT on your fucking schedule and you also have NRG, you know?
Well, I'm not surprised by this. Again, they still have issues, but they should still be top 4 or something behind like Cloud9.
Like I mentioned before with Chad said, the NRG game. Remember the NRG game they're playing? It's close. It's actually close against them. They threw out the Baron, remember? Like Prince threw his Aphelios over the Baron and they bluffed them, and they thought that Spiegel was going to rush in and steal it at that moment. They let them peel it down a little bit more, and then now Spiegel just goes in and steals it. It's like they're just getting away with murder over here in this league.
NRG, they keep throwing games too. It's
like NRG threw pretty hard. I was like, threw pretty hard, but that was definitely a Baron throw in that moment. They should have not have let that thing get stolen. They had the priority on the map in that situation. All he did was just throw his Aphelios salt over it. And they're scared enough to back off of it to get it stolen?
Yeah, I mean, both of them have been doing this whole split. It's pretty crazy. I don't get it. And the fact that Ignar is still on LCS teams, like, he must have some, like, dirt on somebody. Contract's their best player, though. But, anyway, with FlyQuest, again, they should still be, like, top 5 by the end of this or something. But, they're improving.
If they go 3-0 this week, they'll be... Because right now, since they lost 6 games initially,
they'll be 6-6.
Yeah, they should theoretically finish the split out 12-6 max at this point.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, again, I don't think they're better than Cloud9, Golden Guardians, or Team Liquid, but they could beat the other teams. Evil
Team
Geniuses
Liquid
could fall off.
I think they're better than Team Liquid.
I think if they're playing at their
that's
peak,
a coin toss.
Probably is. Yeah, if they're playing at their peak, FlyQuest might be better, but it really just depends on the early. I think Team Liquid have a better early game than FlyQuest do, because it was shown in this week. They're playing against them. They had the better early game. They just didn't execute on their early game comp as hard, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, now we go to 100 Thieves. Now, also this though, last week I was just disgusted with their gameplay. That was not good. This week they actually played pretty decent. I'll give them that.
Yeah, still not the best, but pretty decent. Quid has definitely improved a lot.
Yeah, like there was the TSM game. The TSM game where they bluffed TSM into thinking that Doublelift was there. Meanwhile, he's taking Dragon. Not gonna lie, I actually really like that.
That's also how dumb TSM are.
Yeah, like I'll go back and watch that part of the game. So they're losing the game. TSM is losing at this point of the game because they had already lost their previous team fight. Then 100 Thieves go, okay, let's bluff these guys. So they can't fight us right now. Let's have our ADC take Dragon, because I think TSM was is it that soul point or something like that? Doublelift takes the drag, and TSM are like, shit. If we had fought them there, we probably win this. Remember, they blow all their ults. I was like, hey, I will give it to him. That was actually really impressive. I hope teams start doing that more. I will personally give them that, actually. Other than that, 100 Thieves are a team where if they don't get blown out in their early game, competent enough to
have a chance.
Mid-game. Yeah. They're not a team to stomp the early game. That's just not what.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're like, hey, if you don't beat us in 20 minutes in the mid game, we'll just kind of run you over, which is just fine for the LCS. I mean, it's the LCS here, guys. We're not playing peak League of Legends here,
Because all you gotta do is be 8 and 10, get to the playoffs at this point. You could be under 500 because at this point.
Yeah. Last split, dude. Remember, Golden Guardians made it on 5 and 13. That's disgusting in and of itself. Now, what really screwed over TSM this game was this fight they had where Chime hooked Doublelift and one-shotted him. After this is just shows you how bad TSM are. So right here, they hook him and they one-shot him. Right here, they ended up killing off Ruby. Quid did. Then you probably should just leave at this point. There's really nothing more to gain here for TSM. Somebody pulls over Wild Turtle. It looks like it's just done. Just stop with the fight. No. Chime hooks over. Someday he gets him, but then you have Hanser and Closer, not Hanser Closer, Hanser and what's his name? Hanser and Boogie
Quid.
On the other side, just fighting. Like, this is just so bad. They had actually won that fight in their own way, but they chose to overstate or over push on their aggression. Then he just Hex Tech flashes in and kills himself. I'm sitting there going like, is this actually LCS or am I watching a parody? What the fuck is this? So they end up kind of winning the fight. They just leave. You won. You got the mid laner. It's over. You got the ADC. It's over. How about we just kind of like back off and go reset the map?
The issue with TSM just try to get bodies. That's the biggest issue.
I don't be able to really watch how bad TSM's team fighting actually is. Why is there mid and jungler? Why is there mid and top laner on this side of the map when the ADC and the support over this side, after they had already landed 2 kills on 100 Thieves, then Chime goes to himself, hey, instead of recalling because I'm squishy as fuck, I'm just going to sit in lane and just die. Like, what are we? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, man, this is obviously peak League of Legends here. Hanser is thinking that he's going to bluff a fucking Cassante with Frozen Heart and Thumbnail. Somebody's like, that doesn't mean shit. I'll just chunk you out. Obviously now, since they're obviously out of the laning phase, Cassante is just gonna out split push Renekton. Like, see right there, he just basically just 2-shotted him. Obviously with the ADC there too, obviously, but
yeah,
that's the point. You know,
he hits him, then the ADC hits him with the EQ, and
Cassante has no range to be feared. Yeah, Renekton can stun Cassante, but like that's nothing. Boogie's what is he doing? Why would you path like that? Team is terrible. And this game made Quid make it out to be like fucking some sort of like LCK mid laner who also played pretty good.
TSM made Quid look like fucking Chovy. That's what it was.
Like if you watch this game, God, lead TSM, they're fucking. It was that. Remember that last game they played against them last spring split, or was that game to get 100 Thieves into the playoffs? It was like whoever lost doesn't make it. Yeah. They're like, you know what? Man, we just can't beat 100 Thieves. They're just like something about Doublelift's big fat Asian cock just makes me.
Is Doublelift in TSM? Is he's like, fuck it, I gotta be a TSM at any cost.
And then Chime, I think at that point, the game's over at this point. They had already lost the mid game. They got bluffed from Doublelift, or however they did that bluff, which was really, really cool. And they just over aggression and not really knowing when to back off and just reset the map. And Hanser, I just don't know what he's doing at this point. But yeah, that's it. TSM falls to 100 Thieves once again. I'm pretty sure Doublelift is very happy about that, actually.
Yeah.
All right, so
he just flipped it off Andy like.
He's like, man, I took your girl, I DP'd her with your favorite mid laner, and I'm a millionaire. I know Pearson double tag teamed her. That's why she likes him so much. These are jokes, guys. These are jokes. All right. But yeah, I was impressed with 100 Thieves this week. Last week, no, it can't be said they're doing nothing like that. But they just are gonna potentially out team fight you in the mid game, which is fine, I guess.
Oh, sorry. Right, anyway, we still talking about 100 Thieves or?
Yeah.
We're on a Team Liquid. Team Liquid, they outside of that great game against Cloud9, where to be fair, Berserker had his worst game ever in the LCS. Like he has, like if anyone plays League, if your bot lane does that, there's actually no way to win the game. It's honestly, if you're allowed to competitively FF, Cloud9 should just FF that right there. There's literally, I repeat, no way to win if your bot lane loses like that. That was just a game where it's like, Ayo, bro, sorry, this is GG, go next. I promise people, if that's a scrim, you're FFing. You are not playing that out. They literally lost in under 5 minutes. Oh my god. So Team Liquid this week, they ended up losing to FlyQuest. They ended up also losing to Golden Guardians. They showed quite a bit of weaknesses this week. I mean, hopefully they can finish up the split strong, but Summit has looked pretty good so far. Piosik doesn't look like he's some sort of corpse. Harry still looks pretty average for the most part. Jan and Core JJ have been pretty just okay for the most part. That's kind of my opinion on Team Liquid right now. I don't think they're a great team.
I think they've been good. I think the bot lane improved definitely, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. But that's an A for you.
Yeah, if they have their good early games that they showed in these past 2 weeks, I think that's their strength. If they can just hone in on their good early game, I think they'll be a whole lot better.
I think they could be second place, easily if they just fix those small things. I did actually want to ask you one thing though. How do you think? Sorry, I wasn't fully listening, but how much do you think Harry improved this split?
I think it looks just about the same, honestly. It's he's never people don't understand with mid laners. You have to be a win condition for your team in most senses. I don't even remember a game he's even specifically carried. Not just last split, this one too. I think he's just been serviceable at best. Listen, honestly.
You never know, all right? Who he won as a mid laner one year. So
who he was actually. All right, well, I'm not finished that sentence actually. All right, so Dignitas. This reminds me of that 2021 spring split Dignitas with Dardoch. They're not they're pretty. Given how the league is, they can get away with playing like this. The gameplay they have is atrocious. Watching it, but with the league this bad and this much parity, yeah. I guess they're the fourth best team right now. Whatever,
they're still a bit sloppy, and they're still not playing as well, as a team. But on a skill level and each role, though, they have been an improvement over a lot of other teams. Especially
Rich has been impressive. Thieves. That Quinn game he had, I'll say Rich has been their best player. Rich is the single reason why they're even winning games. We're being completely honest.
Jensen has been solid, nothing too special, but solid overall. Good enough to win
Diamond,
games.
He's eating KFC.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this Jesus fuck. Now, okay, now this week was a little rough for him, but yeah, definitely.
He sniffed that KFC next to the LCS.
Jesus. He hasn't been horrendous though. Here's the thing though. All right, yes, he's not a good player by any means, but
you're gonna say he's been bad, but he's not been shit.
No. What? I'm saying, listen, he at least doesn't lose some games, and when he fucks up, he at least makes up for it a bit.
All right, Chaz, what do you think about Dignitas so far?
I'm surprised by how well they're playing, but at the same time, yeah.
They're gonna get turbo stomped in playoffs, guys. This play style is terrible.
It's not a play style with upside.
The thing here is if you watch the games, they don't think Tomo is even a remotely decent ADC to the point where they don't even focus him. They just kind of look at him and go.
Again, he tries to do the best he can though in this situation. He sort of reminds me of this one LPL ADC at the moment. I forgot his on Thunder Talk right now 1XN, but Jesus Christ, but
don't they have fun?
And again, sorry, somebody was at my door, but yeah, again, as with Diamond, again, Jesus, he at least makes up for it. When he gets caught out, he at least then hasn't engaged and and then sets up his team. All right. Mm-hmm. So, but now and with Santorin though, now has a brain now finally this last week, but in all those games, on Santorin on the other hand, after that all happens, and Diamond at least makes up for it. He runs in, he throws his fucking ult literally to the other side of the map, and then just flashes in and kills himself.
He knows his KFC payments are gonna go away if he doesn't even attempt to play the game.
He needs to go back to fucking Denmark and just eat a bunch of fucking Danish croissants.
He needs to go back and he needs to go to what's the place? Denver? Where they at? Yeah. Where? I hate Canadians. All right, so Dignitas, they're just getting away with murder right now. It's literally all just Rich, if I'm being honest. It's literally just Rich. I'm glad Rich can pull up the win. Yeah, Rich pulled out Quinn. I was like, hey, man, I respect it. Trying to carry this fucking team.
Yeah, I don't know why more teams haven't tried it, but yeah. Again, Dig has been solid, but they're not going to stay like this for sure in playoffs. Like, again, this is literally like their team with Dardoch, where, yeah, they're solid overall. They win games, but when it comes to playoffs, this is not a play style or a team that has, like...
A play style is not Xavier 80. A play style is not what this is. This is just attempting
it's
to
just
not
like how do I say it? It's like there's
play.
no upside. It's like there's no upside to it. There's no like win factor once you get into playoffs. Mm-hmm. You just play until you slowly die.
Yeah. The thing here is there's no real win condition for them unless Rich actually wins the game for them. That's not a play style. That's just, hey, if our best player doesn't actually pop off, we're just gonna fucking roll over and die. All right, now you have your top three. Golden Guardians, I've actually been thoroughly impressed with them this split so far. More actually this split than last split, honestly. I think they've actually looked pretty good for the most part. I mean, Stixay, he looked bad these last weeks so far. He's been all right, actually. Gory's looked like the best mid in the LCS. Licorice is kind of, he didn't play that well this week. He had a really, really bad game this week. I think it was that one game they lost. One of his games they lost. It was the Team Liquid one. He was playing Jax. He was running it down in that game pretty bad. But other than that, no, I've been pretty solid on Golden Guardian. I think they look fine, honestly. They're okay. I think River might be having a weak split. Obviously, Gory's having his best split. He's been fine, and 6A's been fine.
I mean, I think River's still been good. He's just not been as impactful.
What do you think about Golden Guardians, Chaz?
The same thing. I'm not surprised that they had this record. I'm surprised to some of the teams they lost to. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
But, yeah.
The last two teams, Evil Geniuses. Okay.
They finally came back down to earth.
It was crazy how people were like, man, this is like the best team. Guys, in the Cloud9 game, everyone's watching this, that wasn't close. That wasn't even kind of close. It wasn't even sort of close. That wasn't like it was intense mid-game, and then one team just made a mistake, and it just kind of lost.
This is Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants Super Bowl, where it was like,
this is like Adrian Cheta going onto a porn set and getting a black guy that's bigger than me, like looking like Tyrone, moving his fist up with mayonnaise and fisting her butt and drilling that shit.
Yeah, and paralyzing her. That's Adrian Cheta go to TwitchCon and not realize the dimension of the floor and her whole shit.
Yeah, like. Again, they're good. They have three. Their players are great, but again, they shouldn't be, as MSK said, they're getting away with murder. They shouldn't be this high. They should be more in a role with competing for fourth.
JoJo has played good. Armal has played good.
Unforgiven the other two not
Revenge
so much.
Knows his role. Revenge knows I'm not going to be the carry. I need to shut the fuck up, play Sion, play Orin, and ult properly.
I think with this team, I think the reason why they're as good because it's the whole thing where sometimes they call it the the reject revenge. It's some weird.
I heard that theory. Yeah.
It's like sometimes
you got something to prove if you've been thrown away by the top dogs.
If you take enough trash, it becomes a treasure kind of thing. It was like JoJo.
That's what KT Roaster is. That's what KT is a split.
Yeah, that's why
we have won titles together. Amy's been pretty good for a long time, but he's just been thrown away by a lot of teams because toxicity. Lahen's thrown away by Genji.
It's like, think about this. Like, JoJo was the one player that EG wanted to keep, but everybody thought he was kind of bad split last year. Unforgiven was the one that was like 100C liked him, but they didn't like him up on their team.
Oh, yeah. And Mayo is a really interesting story.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and, I'll explain this. Like, basically, he has had a bad reputation for a little while because, he was originally known as Greg, played on all those teams. He was
once he changed his name to Armal, he got a lot better. That Greg
literally. And ever since then, it's like since 2021, he's been really good every time he goes subbed into LCS games and really good in Academy and leading, teams and players like Harry to victory, but he never got the opportunity because of his past look as Greg and because he's a bit older of a player. Then he took a break, was like a positional coach or what for Cloud9 last split, and then won the LCS trophy with them, and then went back to playing this split, and now he's like this. He's finally getting the chance he should have gotten a while last
split, it was based on what people had said that inspired. It's just he's a very good player, but kind of hard to work with kind of thing. Where maybe that kind of ruined the team's morale and ruined the atmosphere. Not just obviously it's not just all based off him, but yes, kind of understand. Yeah. You guys understand what I'm saying?
You got revenge. The man everybody like, but no one thinks he's good enough.
Yeah, he knows where his bread is at. He knows I am not the carry. I don't get no resources. I play tanks and tank accessories.
Yup, and you got Ayla, who was scapegoated by FlyQuest. I believe he's the main reason that FlyQuest didn't do as well. But I think I still put it down to the management, for putting him in, knowing how scrims went.
Yeah. I'll also add on to that, which is in a less pressure environment around players of similar.
He works.
Pedigree, he can work.
He ain't the best, but like I said, sometimes you don't got to be. Sometimes you just got to competent.
Sometimes you be revenge and you play tanks, or you don't get all. You are the LCS.
And sometimes you just got to be competent. And we're gonna talk about this later on the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it right after this one because we're almost done with this one now. All right, let's go to Cloud9. So Cloud9 had arguably, Berserker and Sven. Obviously this happens a lot. You play League that one day and you just have a really, really bad game.
That's with everything. I've had that with Pokemon. I've had that with Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend. Both days.
Anyone with card games, anything. You have a day where you just literally your brain shuts off and you run it. That was that Team Liquid game. I repeat, everyone, it's unplayable if your bot lane loses that hard that early on. I could sit there for hours and explain to you how much advantage you would get if your enemy bot lane griefs that hard. And then obviously you saw the next day.
I'll just say though, I hated the draft as well though.
Yeah, Zeri mid
again. I think Zeri mid. No, I think Zeri mid can work, and I think it
not
worked
with the
out
menace.
there.
He's not very good at that stuff.
Oh no,
I think it was
Zeri
fine.
Mid can work.
But,
no, I agree with the Zeri mid. That can work, but I don't think a menace is a player to be playing.
Well, I think he was fine in that game. But what I think failed was I don't think Vi works in that comp. And again, Sven just sucks on those champs.
Yeah.
Sven entered it and Blabber entered it because Vi doesn't work in that comp, so he lost his brain. And I already said prior, I'm just not a fan of Xi in this meta over other ADCs.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that Berserker had his worst game ever since he's been here. He was since last year. Like, that was literally his worst game. God, I was like,
I meant to play Zeri. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I meant to play Zeri. It just didn't work with that comp.
It still wasn't that bad, which says a lot.
Yeah, because the thing here is you theoretically can play Zeri mid, but if your bot lane loses 5 minutes in, you might as well just throw that team in the trash. Throw that.
Sven died like 8 times.
I was watching that live. I was at work. I was watching it live on my lunch break, and I was like, all right,
I do agree. That was a bad comp. The MSK freeze. Oh my god.
Cloud9 did manage to win that game.
Yeah.
The fuck?
No.
So
sorry.
I mean, I do agree with Sean. Xia in this meta is weird because it's like
again, I think it's all the player, not the champ. There's way better champs.
Yeah, it's true. Zeri. Zeri mid with Xia bot lane. Then it doesn't work. You're doing too much of the similar.
Yumi with Vi. I was like, don't let bro cook. That's what I mean. Don't let the bro cook. Yeah, don't do that. I'm okay. I'm
not pick Vi in that meta. Like, what were they expecting Vi to do in that comp? I really want to know.
I mean, if Xia gets into a mid game situation, Xia's probably one of the best ADCs if you're talking about mid game, right? But then again, you can't lose 5 minutes in like that. Who was Fudge on that game? Who was young?
I think
it was over Renekton, I think.
Was it Renekton?
I think. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I remember Renekton, honestly.
I know it was obviously some tanky champ like Ornn or Renekton, but
I get people that blamed him for some of their losses this split. And to be fair, they've only had 2 losses this split overall. It's not been that bad. I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't really.
PG? No.
Again, Fudge's been good. It's just he needs to stop going for ego plays. It's like he'll be winning lame, but then he'll like try to go for these wacky plays under the enemy's turret that he shouldn't go for, but it's like he does. Just stop doing that, and then you'll beat your opponent way easier.
Right. Let's. Yeah, it was on Renekton. Yeah, I knew it was on Renekton. Yeah, this is just terrible, man. Like they were getting outlaned. This is a bad day. It happens to the best of us.
Oh yeah,
it's okay. And they knew the dive was gonna happen because of the vision placed beforehand. Like
yeah,
it's okay.
It just completely outcomped that bot lane way better. Like just look at Cloud9's comp. Like look, they have double ADC, Vi, Renekton, and Rakan, and then look, Team Liquid's comp literally perfectly beats them in every area possible. There isn't one area they lose in. The thing here
is they would have to win so hard in the early game to actually make this winnable. That it's such
there
a small
isn't one area
condition.
they lose in with this comp.
Yeah,
they literally drafted them into a. Oh my god, this is just so ridiculous.
They knew the reason why you knew the dives were coming was the pre-established vision beforehand. If your jungler is going to gank mid, well, then the enemy jungler is going to counter, obviously, dive your bot lane. It's just a really, really bad game. This was just, but these are the games where they can learn from this and go, okay, we can't ego draft this hard. We need to actually play competent drafts. I'm all for trying stuff out. You know,
mid was fine. The rest I didn't like.
I'm still not a fan of the Zeri mid into LeBlanc though. There's nothing she does better than LeBlanc early on. LeBlanc will just chains her if she gets too close.
Yeah, I get that. That was a weird matchup. That was a little weird. I expected more of a counter when they would play it, but it was still fine.
Yeah, because the thing is, what is Zeri going to do? jump in? LeBlanc just chains her down. Mm-hmm. Zeri can't out damage her early on. It's almost just lost.
So that's another thing. I forgot the champ name for some reason, but the support Core JJ played. Why is
Renata?
Why is like Core JJ the only one in LCS playing that support champ display? Like it's still really good.
Old man mechanic. His hands are broken. He's an old man now, dude. He can only play.
I mean, true, but nonetheless, I still think that champ's great. I don't know why more aren't playing it still.
What other support would you try as playing Renata?
In that comp, or just for Core JJ?
I mean, just in general. Like, what support would you? Because what else?
I'm gonna see what they banned out. Okay. They didn't ban. They banned Milo. He can't play Milo. I mean, a lot of people can play Milo. Milo's actually pretty broken.
Yeah, Milo is like Yumi 2.0.
Milo's the champion that you teach Miss 1776 when she's starting off. You teach her that. You teach her Nautilus. You teach her Yumi.
You know what's crazy about what Chaz brought up? They had a lot of support options here. I mean, Rel's not banned here. Thresh is open. Alistar is open.
Obviously, Nautilus would be a thing. It just depends.
But he could have played Leona here, and that would have probably won them. Yeah. They'd won so hard early on because Berserker and Sven's brains literally left their souls.
Leona or Nautilus. The only problem is I feel like Sven would he'll land a hook, but then he'll get quickly melted down by a Aphelios. And
I love me some Sven, but he is not good at certain supports. I don't care what that guy says. He's not good at certain supports.
Honestly, this would actually be a good position to go for more of a non-traditional one against her comp, Maokai, whatever.
What's the win rate on Zeri mid?
Sorry, Malphite.
I don't know the win rate of Zeri mid and solo queue, but
it's not high because it don't get played that much. I mean, but then again, my solo queue is lower.
Oh God, there's this new Shyvana top build that people have been trying out with Shyvana top. I mean, stuff like that is what you need to be trying out in the LCS. You know. All right, so that pretty much kind of wraps it up for this week for the LCS 2023 Summer Split Week 3. The standings hopefully are going to look a little bit more solidified coming up this week. As you guys know, for the Cloud9 podcast, we have our episodes for LCS on Sunday and our episodes for the LEC on Thursday. Thursday is 5 p.m. PST or around 5:30 p.m. PST for both shows, both days, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast is on Sundays now. So after this show, I'm going to head over to my main channel. We're going to, be talking about some good old Yu-Gi-Ohs, European Nationals, Battles Legend Monsters Revenge. Chad said he fisted a bitch. What else we got here?
Oh, dude, I today. You talk about how sometimes you just have a bad day. I've had a bad week. I was okay, I for the main local. I didn't do it so good. I switched decks to my to the after local tournament. Right, came first place. It's all right, cool. It's like the deck. I couldn't sleeve at the time. That's why I couldn't register in because the deck has to be sleeved by the beginning of the round, and I was 10 cards off. And they couldn't wait another 30 seconds. I was whatever. And today, Yu-Gi-Oh! I forgot my stair claw deck. I had to go Labyrinth. I did well in two the last
playing
one.
The deck in general.
I actually like play because I play a weird build. I play like a mid range build. I play with Assault Synchron and Tuning, where I go Assault Synchron out after I get the monster on the field. I go Assault Synchron's level 2 goes right into a Baron de Fleur, 3 summons, and then I just set traps. It's just nuts. And then like I'll go that, and then I'll go like on their turn, I'll go Bestial, and then GG's. But it's like pretty good. My last round was horrible. The motherfucker just literally because I couldn't use my tap card because he plays Bright. I'm like fuck. I'm just giving him a free level 2. I'm like because my tech card was a Geometria. If you go a Geometria at the end of main phase, they can't use evenly match. And they just wasted their main phase. I was like, fuck.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up for the episode this week. We'll see you guys on Thursday. You know, with Bad Adam coming out with the Olaf Vic plays. Come on, Sean.
Garbage. Fucking.
I'm gonna tell you this right. I'm gonna tell you this right now for Vitality. Everybody needs to go.
Yeah.
Maybe keep Upset, but everybody else needs to go.
I mean, it's 50-50. Again, I genuinely think Purse is like the entire issue to an extent, and also there's their staff. But yeah, pretty much everybody needs to go. But
dude, before you go,
I
know
Purse is probably already walking out the door.
You talk about the player expression sometimes. Photon's face look like, man, I'm going back to Korea and I'm getting my ass eaten out by every Korean bitch.
Like honestly, like Photon's still great. It's not his fault, but he should go to a Korean team instead. I think would be better for him.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna stay by what I said last week. All these players, not Perks probably. He's an old man at this point. I think he's washed at this point. I love me some Perks, but it's looking pretty bad.
Yeah, all the players
go literally anywhere in the league.
Yeah,
probably pop off.
Yeah, it's literally like an internal issue. Like I think if Bo went to a team like Team Liquid, he would do so well.
Yeah, my thing here is why people have to realize it must have got pretty bad to the point where they decided Hibbert's going to bench Bo. Bo, you knew was going to get benched after that Maokai game. If anyone watched that Maokai game and thought he was actually going to play again, you're out of your mind.
That's
he
the other
turbo
thing.
through it.
I think this meta is worse for Bo. That's the other thing. Like again, like he always popped off on a meta with like Wukong, Lee Sin, and Olaf.
Yeah. The other thing is here that people have to factor in from last year. They did all of this for Bo. They got Haru randomly for a split. You knew Haru was temporary because they were prepping Bo to be their starter this split. They did all that to prep Bo, and it failed because Vitality is just nothing but a fucking dog shit organization.
Yeah, they're like Immortals. They can't coach their players. Again, I still think Bo's really good. I just think it's a whole team issue and Norg issue, and
or it could be just Photon, these obviously. Players just. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Well, these players just don't work out." No, that's still true. These players just don't work.
Yeah, I mean, they could just not work together. Like again, like Upset and Photon and Bo at points throughout like last year and this year looked like the number one in their role, and that's I think another issue. They all want to be the carry. It's like Upset's literally was.
You know, he's
like the best ADC in the league, Upset, but you know, when you have Photon and Perks as well who wants to be fucking carries, it's like it's hard. Like that's the other thing. I think if Upset went to a team like let's say fucking G2 even, then he would pop off hard, obviously.
Now this is also another thing people forgot. Last year, Upset literally with Hillisang brought Fnatic out of almost not making playoffs to making worlds, obviously. And people want to go, it's Upset's fault that this team failed. Literally, I think they probably discussed playing around Upset like he had it with Fnatic last year. But Fnatic were on the mindset of, hey, we're just putting all our resources into this guy, and it's either Upset or bust. But that also comes with Upset liking to play with Upset and Hillisang actually like playing together. They like playing just together well. You can tell Kaiser and Upset have no synergy whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're like, but it's like they're German. What the fuck they got to do with anything?
One could be East Germany, one could be West Germany. Shit.
It's like you know who else had like an old German team? It's like Schalke had like 4 German players on their team. How did that work out? They have Broken Blade, Gilius.
Remember, also last year, Yamato, as you saw in like the behind the scenes videos, he was way better with working with the players than I'd assume Yarnin is going to be in his first year. This is Yarnin's first year of head coaching. No way he's going to be as good. Or they brought that Misfits guy over too. Remember from last year, they brought that Misfits guy over.
Yeah, that's the other issue. You have a team with like so many different players from different backgrounds and different synergies, and you have new coaches.
Yeah, the thing here is these players need someone you would say like Yamato, but let's be honest here, they offered him to do it. He said no because, it's Vitality. They try to fix all their problems with money because that's all they receive is just dollar signs of their roster. Nothing bad with being a business and only seeing money. I have no issue with that, but that is not going to fix your problems with this kind of thing. Money doesn't
just go back to CSGO and Rocket League, I guess. Yeah.
They can be Viva Los France, right?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's that right. Yeah.
Yeah, like again, all players should honestly leave, like because
Wait,
again,
you guys help me with this? So since they missed out on going to the group stage, that means their year is over, right?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
So if they had made the group stage, they would have at least been able to make season finals to the championship points, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're done. Yeah, you're right.
Because
if
they would have made playoffs, they would have had a chance to qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even get that chance. They literally blew it today.
And now they screwed over that what was that kid they brought in, the 17-year-old? They kind of screwed him over because everyone's going to be like, well, they brought you in to save the whole split and you failed.
Like, what could he do? Fucking hell.
Nothing he do. He actually played well in their games too. He actually legitimately played well.
Yeah, it proves his perks is the issue.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, again, even though players like Upset are great, they should just get rid of everyone because I don't think it's going to work out in their org. The only one that they could maybe keep is Kaiser, depending on what ADC they get next if they, sub out. I mean, get rid of Upset, of course. Other than that, just get rid of the whole team. Like, they all shouldn't be in Vitality.
Self-made was the problem. People could be like, they're memeing on like self-made being the problem. No, he really was the problem. No, he was bad. I'm not discrediting that. This is Vitality's always had issues. Man, this org has always had issues. Like even the very first year they were in the LEC, where they looked really good in the regular season, they somehow lost to a Fnatic with Spirit and Gamsu, and I'm there like, what the fuck? You're way better than that roster. Then in the summer split, they swap out Yarnin, who worked really well with Kasing, for a random Korean ADC named Mighty Bear that we haven't seen in years. Like, already at that point, this org is worthless shit at this point.
I mean, the craziest occurrence ever is still that one split where G2 brought in like an ADC and support, and then they won LEC that split. And then immediately after they got rid of them, and then it played for another team. And after 3 months, they got subbed out and then retired. Imagine that. Your career lasts like 7 months long, but you're an LEC champion. Imagine.
Yeah, Vitality, we're going to be hearing about some roster moves for them very soon. Don't worry. It's over for them. Like, people have to factor in, if they're subbing out Bo in this week of all weeks to make it into the bracket, group stage, it's over. That means they were getting dumpstered in scrims. And, I know people said they were I know people said that they were killing it in scrims. Sure didn't look at that on stage. I'm saying them scrims must have been motherfuckers could probably were lying. No way they look that good in scrims. I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
because people, pro players just cap for each other. No way they look. No way they're that good in scrims. No way. That's such a fucking lie. No way.
Yeah, I don't believe it. But anyway, all
right, guys, that's it.
Smart, they would sub in Agresivo because he's actually way better.
Keep Chad Adam in. That's
all he can play Darius, Set, and Olaf. That's it.
My champion. Hey, man, you might as well just, come back, pay me. I'll play the same champion. Shit.
You're move to Europe.
If I can put Hooney in, he would do better. Jesus fucking hell.
Oh, God.
You got to give Adam his credit, man. He was Chad Adam this week. So far, it's been Chad Adam.
Jesus Christ. Fucking just bring back Remy from the Denshu. Do better. Fucking hell.
The crazy part about it is motherfuckers might get in the playoffs with 2 wins.
It's 3 wins, but it's hilarious.
It's 3 wins, but there's probably 3 wins. 3 wins, but it's like
with potentially a tiebreaker given how other matches go.
Yeah,
the LEC, man, I've been watching.
You got 2 teams on the clear top. Yeah, everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know why Warren was ragging on G2. I was like, Onsama and Mickey X had played fine.
Well, no,
because
they are
Warren's two teams are shit.
Yeah. No,
That's
again,
why.
G2 does show a lot of issues. They do get away with murder a lot of times, but they're still top 2 because LEC is such a clusterfuck. So yeah. And if BDS
how
makes
bad
Worlds,
Excel is?
Oh no, Excel is bad. But didn't I say like Excel's gonna fuck around? But then I realized other teams fucked around, just didn't play with their brains on.
Oh yeah.
I said Excel was gonna make playoffs, but then I realized it was only 2 teams not making. I'm like,
it's really an accomplishment if you don't make top 8 in a 10-team league.
And it's incredible that Excel is actually winning all these. Peach and Odo Omni are
it's also another thing that people brought up where players don't like the format because the early part of it's not forgiving. It's like, if you can't make top 8 with winning 4 games out of 9, you don't deserve to be in the next round. You're probably we don't need to see Vitality anymore. We've seen enough of them. It's over.
It's like
you wanted this format. You wanted this.
The players wanted this format. They said we don't like it now. No, fuck off. These guys literally wanted it. Maybe it was Riot influence too. Sure.
I'm telling you right now. This format works better for the LEC than the LCS because,
I mean, do you want to see Immortals play for another 9 games, man?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Immortal play the first 9 games. What the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
Like they're fucking. The jungler is.
I just don't get the European players' mindsets. If you can't make top 8, 4 games out of 9, you don't deserve. Don't deserve being in the next round. You suck.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You have to win 4 games out of 9. 4.
4
maybe with the tiebreaker.
Not even that. Like 3 games. Jesus fuck.
It's 3 games at this point.
Yeah, if you can't, because they're like, oh, it's not forgiving. You could just lose your whole. You could lose your whole split if you have 3 bad weeks.
Guess what? You could get into playoffs with 1 good week. If you go 3-0 1 week and you win 1 more game, you're guaranteed. You're more likely guaranteed to get in the playoffs.
Look at fucking Koi. They're like middle of the road every regular season, but then they make top 4. So hey,
yeah. This thing, you don't have to. No one's saying you have to play your best League of Legends in the first 3 weeks. All you have to do is you just not have to be 9th and 10th place.
Let's be confident enough to not miss playoffs.
Yeah, just don't be worse than Astralis and SK and you're good, or BDS. I don't think that's so hard.
Astralis SK gaming game. I almost had AIDS watching that.
My god.
That's peak league right there.
Is just the best, Jesus Christ. That was absolutely insane. Yeah, I'm saying if BDS makes Worlds, I'm ending myself.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm just saying if you fucking can't make top 8 in 3 weeks and winning 4 games, you suck. I don't need to see Vitality.
You suck at life. Just like if any teams by the end of this LCS split are under Immortals and TSM, then you should just retire now.
Well, guys, that's it. We'll see you Thursday, 5:30 p.m. PST, going over the LEC final week of the regular season. My boy Chad Adam out there. He's gonna
G2 and Fnatic top 2 is not even close.
It's really not.
Fnatic
Fnatic's gonna win the split.
Yo, Fnatic really the guy Reckless was playing Reckless, and then they get rid of him and they start playing smart. You can't make this shit up. You got a guy named Reckless.
I'm not gonna lie, I knew that going into this year when I said it earlier in the show. They should have never went back to him. I was
they go from missing what? They go from missing what?
Everyone said Wonder. I love my boy Wonder, but he's been running it down for 2 years straight. Get rid of him, you will start winning some games. He was terrible.
Yeah, you know what? Oscar N has been a better version of what they tried doing with Adam, because he's actually way better in lane and can play a lot of champs.
Yeah, he's not going to carry you any games, but if you're going to put him on some tanks and be like, hey, don't lose, he's fine doing that,
Yep.
Noah's been used Berserker, him and Trimby a bit.
He literally died for the first time and then came back and killed him.
Oh yeah, great.
If Noah doesn't win MVP, I swear. There's literally no other competition for MVP display.
Why are you so Korean biased? Why can't
Adam have you seen what Noah's been doing to these fucking teams?
Oh, he's been insane.
Think about it. He dies for the first time and comes back just murks. Team High Rag.
I don't know, guys. I'm just so surprised, man. I'm so surprised that an old man who was like the 6th best ADC in the French league, didn't end up doing well. I'm so surprised.
Hey, I love wordplay. A guy who's playing recklessly, named Reckless, gets fucked around.
His whole team an entire split recklessly.
One of the go support saw Fnatic was going to keep him. Let him go get a new Korean ADC, and now they're in second place. After they missed group stage for the first time in their organization. It was
the first time that they missed playoffs ever. Or you said the next stage of the regular season.
Yeah. A lot worse.
I don't say it. Yeah. That's like I think Sean and I said this, but in different ways. Sometimes all you gotta do is take off one piece, you put new on, and motherfuckers work.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it is. Sometimes it's that one.
Dude, no, Razork and Humanoid look like they're on a blind speed date as homeless people. But if you slot in a good bot lane, it doesn't really matter what their synergy is like.
Who is the support as well?
Trimby.
No, I meant last split.
It was fucking Advian peak mid support.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot who I was like.
I swear to God,
if you take off Limit, 3 supports.
If you take off Limit and fucking Advian's name, they play the exact same.
Okay, I was wondering.
I think Advian's better, but I would say that's insane though. They went through
Advian's
3
not
supports.
Starving on stage. Limit is looking. He needs some food on stage. Give that man
seriously. They went through 3 supports and 3 splits. That is hilarious.
I can't believe Fnatic of that Rux guy won 2 play-in stage games, and that qualified him to be their starter. That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I get it. Hillsing ran it down last year. That's fine. But man.
We all know Australia's the best region. We all know that.
You get some big booty women like Angela White. Because that you're not going to Australia for anything.
Yeah, Jesus.
Maybe we might find Imperial Jester in Australia with Paul.
Okay, thank you for watching the show.
No, do not.
Okay,
thank you guys next week. See you guys on Thursday.